innovative ideas that you don't want out there for competitive reasons. And so this is a private place where sharing and collaboration can occur on development projects or things that you're thinking about doing. So some of the features that really help it is you can create content, remix it, and share it with others within your organization. And so that can work well. It's great for social networking within your organization. So you can have groups, you can have friends, you can make it a little bit social. There's a lot to do with comments, forums, and chat. You might be thinking, how is this different than the Tatara LMS? Well, there is a fundamental pedagogical difference. In an LMS system, it's primarily hierarchical. People are often getting compliance training and other kinds of things, and it's sort of top down. You're pushing out training, and while they might do some interactive things, those interactive activities have been chosen by somebody else, usually the instructor or the instructional designer of the course. In Tatara Social, it complements the LMS really nice, and they can have single sign-on between the two platforms, which is great. And what happens here is it's user generated. So the user can start comments and forums and chats within their organization with whatever permissions that they've been given. And they can start discussions around things that matter to them. So it's much more organic, it's much more grassroots. There's the ability to blog, and we'll talk about permissions and so on. So let's say you're the CEO of an organization and you want to do a weekly blog on what's happening, you could do that. People can share ideas, and there's an ability to vote on those ideas, and then you could use those to decide, for example, what development things need to be first, second, third, and what interests people. If there's only a limited amount of time to develop things, what would help people the most? It can also work as a knowledge sharing base, and you can ask questions, and people within the community can answer them, and so that can be a very helpful thing. And then it's also a skills profiler. Much like LinkedIn, you can put in things to make a resume and make your profile and put in your learning that you've done, maybe in Tatara LMS, and start building that out as well, and maybe move up within the organization and so on. So any questions so far about the platform? I'd be interested too if people have used the platform before. So if you're in the webinar and you have, let us know that too. And I'd be interested in how you've used it. Okay, I'm going to move to the platform right now. So, with the name social, it looks like a lot of social media sites when you first arrive. This is the home screen, and it's got a stream, and it shows what all of my recent activity is. People can come to this, they can like it, they can stop watching this, they can share it, they can comment on it, okay? And then I can put something in my stream, and I could add files, and then here I can share with different things, like my groups, for instance, or any of my, let's see, my connections, if I wanted to do that. And now I can share that across. And so as you start to build out groups and connections, you can have different, much like Google Plus, you can share different content with different audiences. Okay, so this would be the update status. I can also ask a question to the communities very quickly. So I could say, how do I get rid of the run? This was a real question that I had today. Let's see here. There we go. Can And then I could say all users in the system, and then maybe somebody would know the answer and answer that, okay, and comment that. I could also propose an idea. So I could say, let's see, state park for company picnic. What do you think about the idea of having company picnic, a state park? And then I can share that. And when we look at this, people can vote yes or no, and then I can see what they voted as well. Okay. You can also report any objectionable material across the site, and that goes to site administrators. So that kind of helps your community self-police it as well. Okay, so that was the home screen. It has some very quick ways that people can be social and add. The next big one is contribute, and there's a lot of ways that you can contribute. So the first one will give me a dashboard of all content I've contributed. So here I made a to-do list. Here I added a question. Here I added some images to my image file. Here I did a blog post. I did another question. Here is one of those ideas where people can vote and so on. So that's all my content that I've done so far. And it kind of gives me, and I can search that. I could search it by type, let's say, and so on. I can also create pages of content, and this content can be shared with different people. It could be groups of people, individuals, and so on. It can even be public on the web, and I can even have a private link that I can send out to certain maybe clients or things that we're working on. So to make a page is kind of interesting. Let's go to edit my homepage, and you can see here this is where I can edit my different security settings. We can take a minute and look at that, and I could create a secret URL. Let's say I just want to send that to the client. Yeah, so I could do that. Okay, and whoop, I don't want to go there. And then from here, I can go to, let's edit my home page for a minute. Okay, so I have different widgets here, and what you do is you drag different things over. Get rid of some of this so it's less cluttered. So if I wanted to add a text box, I can just drag it over, and I can say welcome, for instance, and I could bold that and so on and add that. All right, and if I wanted to select an image, I could take something from my image folder. I can make this retractable so people can collapse it and uncollapse it or automatically retract it too. So I'll put save, and there's my welcome. I can also edit the layout of this page. So it's very simple for people who don't have a lot of web design experience. And now it looks like this. And let's say I want to add an image over here, and it wants me to select a file. These come from my image file, so I'm going to select that. Select. There we go. And then it wants to know within that file, which one do I want? I can click that one. I could make this retractable if I wanted, and I can save it. And then that comes over there. So there's quite a bit that I can add. They will make, let's do an image gallery. Those are kind of fun. And let's see here, let's add, all right, let's play with my layout and make it a little bit, let's just go like this. And then image, save. I want to go to media, image gallery. So I'll add that one down here. Now I have to select a folder. I'm going to select my images folder. And what it's going to do is do thumbnails from that. And sometimes I can even have like a slideshow, which can be pretty impressive. Or I can have like a file within of different images. Okay. And then it'll it'll go through there. You can add embedded media, a PDF. PDF was kind of interesting. Let's add that. We'll select a file. Let's just upload one, and I'll drag and drop something from here. And we'll move this over here, and we'll just go into here, and we'll upload this. We'll make it retractable. So you can see that it's really easy for people to make content right on the fly. And then this has like an embedded PDF reader, and you know, they can print it and so on. They can have a little side menu, so it works really nice. They could add any blog posts that they have or recent blog posts and have like an RSS feed. They could have an activity stream of all the things they've done on the site recently. They could Creative Commons license any ideas, any to-do lists that they have. So if this was going to be a group page, maybe we put our group to-do list on the project we're working on. A stream of questions, quick content, recent forum posts, text boxes. You could add your profile information, for example. We can just drag that in here. And now I can click off which things I want to, I want to include. And so when you make your profile, you add information, but you don't always, it's not all public unless you put it on a page and then you determine who you're going to share it with, okay? And then you can always, let's see, move these things around and drag them and rearrange them and so on. There's also some really neat external tools. You could have external feeds, you could have external media, you can embed things like Google Apps. You can, if you have the link from sharing or a calendar, book, or map, you put that in here or the embed code, and then that can show up on your page too. So that's a really nice tie-in too. So then when you want to see what it actually looks like, you can display it. So we can see how the retractable works. You could have it automatically retracted too, and so forth and so forth. Okay, that's why it's good to put in titles, because things are retracted. So that's how you make pages. Let's go back. We didn't share this page yet. Display page, and so yeah, that shows where it's going to be. When we get to the groups and so on, that's where we can call different things and determine who's going to see what. Okay, we went over ideas before. That's where people can vote. We also went over the quick questions. You could also enter a question from here and then shared with all users. I can edit it or close it or delete it. And so when people open these, they can provide an answer, which is really neat, and then people can comment on it too. So very cool. And again, what's nice is this can be internal to your organization. You can do a blog post, okay, and then you can determine who's that's going to be shared with, what tags you're going to do in a new post. Then you could have the feed for this on your page if you wanted to. To-do lists are nice. If you are working on a project as a group, you can set these up and you can have a nice to-do list. All you have to do is either new to-do list or new task. And we could say set up Tatara instance, AWS server. And we can set a completion date and these. And then when it's completed, you would mark it off and you can have some nice to-dos. And then when, like this one is completed, it's marked off as so. Okay. This is where you would upload your files. That's one thing that you kind of have to get used to with Tatara Social. You can upload on the fly, but a lot of times it's easier if you upload your content first, and it works well if your images go in the image folder or in subfolders in there, and then maybe your other documents and so on. And then you can pull the elements into the pages and content you're creating and just select it with radio buttons. That works out really slick that way. So a lot of times you upload your content first and then pull it into the things that you're making. Okay, Tatara Social is social, and it is designed to work collaboratively in groups. So you can create groups, and the users can, unless you lock that down, and we'll get to the admin in a little bit where the permissions are. So I made a little e-learning group, and so far it's got one member, and I was able to invite others. Now, one way I have used this with a client is sometimes we automatically assign groups to different roles because it can have single sign-on with your Tatara LMS. And so we might say all managers are automatically enrolled in a manager group. And then that's where managers can collaborate, and use it as a collaborative platform to work within that group and share things. So that can work out really good too. And then because of the single sign-on, it knows who the managers are through the Tatara LMS and puts everybody in the appropriate groups. Okay, so a group can have messages. You can have an activity stream for the group. You can have forum posts for the group. You can have pages for the group of different things that you're working on, or just even group information. So this can be very nice for breaking down silos and having groups work together. You can also connect with other people in the system. So right now I sent a request to Bill Smith, and he has to accept my connection, and then we can be connected. I can send a message. Hi, Bill. I enjoyed your post on conditional the other day. Yeah. And so there's sort of this internal messaging system that goes on too. Okay. Administration. This is where, just like Tatara LMS, you have a lot of configurations, and I won't go through all of these. If you were to purchase Tatara LMS through us, our onboarding support, we would have a site admin training with you. And so some of these things are how to configure the site and what tools there are and whether or not you want to lock certain things down, how to manage users, how to manage groups. It has multi-tenancy, so this could be very helpful, and I'm thinking about using this in my own organization where I'm thinking about having different client projects and having different groups and inviting the clients and having, just different to-dos, because sometimes we're dependent on clients getting some things done, sharing drafts of things, keeping, storyboards and things like that all in one place. So I can see where that can help us a lot. So there's a lot you can do here, and extensions and so on, and we can help you with that. And we'll return to the site. and that's where you control all of that. And only people with site admin rights, of course, have that. You can internally email or look at your internal mail. You can also look at your groups and work from there. When you get started, it has some things that kind of get you started and help you with your profile. And that's when I started, let's go here, my profile, edit profile information. It kind of walks you through this because this is information that you might want to pull into different things. And so you don't have to fill in anything that does not have an asterisk, but people can. And so I shared some information, and that's part of my profile. Now, just because it's part of my profile does not mean that everybody necessarily sees it. It depends who I share it with and who, what groups and what information from that. You might remember in a previous screen where I checked off what I wanted to share. Okay, so none of it's required, and see how it kind of helps you build out your resume and skill set and learning that you've done and things like that. So that can be done there too. So that in a nutshell is kind of Tatara Social. I'm curious if you have any questions for me. Okay. With that, I thank you for attending. I will send out the archive of the demonstration today, and feel free to contact me if you have additional questions. Thanks much.